Why you shouldn't prejudge leads. So let me give you an example that literally just happened today. So we reached out to a prospect on LinkedIn, cold. The guy is a VP of sales and business development at a high-end commercial cabinetry company that does about $40 million per year. And so let's look at some of the components here. So first, how he responded. He's like, sure, let's chat. So some people would see that and they would say, well, his response wasn't very enthusiastic. He's not indicating a lot of interest. Well, little side note, and I've been doing B2B sales for about 19 years, so I can tell you that this is almost always the case. It's very rare that a prospect will just show their hand to you right out of the gates, right? Like they're usually going to kind of play it close to the vest, meaning they're not going to be like, yeah, we really need this. And, please help us. Like usually, even if there's a lot of pain points that they're trying to solve that maybe your service or product can solve, they're typically not going to just volunteer all that information right out of the gate. They're going to kind of play it cool. So the other thing to look at too is when I first looked at it, I was a little concerned because even though he's the VP of business development for this, what I found out after I talked to him was a $40 million a year company that's rapidly expanding. My initial thought when I saw it was like, oh, well, he's not the decision maker there, right? But I made the call anyways. Called the lead. He had not responded to our follow-ups on LinkedIn, which again, a lot of companies will just assume that the prospect isn't interested because, hey, they didn't book through my link right away, which is complete nonsense. People just get busy. Okay, think about how inundated you are, how many emails and messages you get. Right now in my own inbox, I have 4 or 5 offers from companies that are trying to sell me something, right? And I'm genuinely interested. They solve things. They could potentially solve things that we're working on. And they followed up a few times. I literally just haven't gotten back to them because it's just too busy, right? So you can't judge their interest level based on how they respond initially. You can't judge their interest level based on, if they didn't respond to one of your follow-up attempts. And you can't judge the situation based just on appearance. So I called the guy on the phone. He picked up. Basically, I made it easy, and I'll go through probably how to do this in another video, but, I just made it easy for him to, either have a conversation with me right then or to schedule a time, and basically qualified his interest right away. And as it turns out, yes, he's has a full-time job at this, this cabinetry company, but he also owns his own SEO agency as well. And then my concern there, again, prejudging, which we naturally do, was like, okay, if he's working at this other company full time, maybe this SEO thing is just a side hustle and maybe it's too small. But I ended up having like an impromptu discovery call with him right there, and found out that his SEO company does about $215,000 a year in annual revenue. Our floor for the type of companies that we work with is sort of 200, right? Really, like, we look for companies that are at least doing like 500K already, or 100 million, or not 100 million, like 1 million or more. Sometimes they're doing, tens of millions of dollars per year, and they're just looking for, additional lead channels, increased lead flow, etc. So anyways, I started talking to him. I qualified him on all those things, as well as his budget, his readiness to make a decision. He asked some questions about how we did what we do, and I scheduled a follow-up call with him. So I literally blocked off a 60-minute chunk of time to follow up with leads. I made one phone call to a lead, left a voicemail, made my next call, and it was this guy, and I found out all this information, which was not there on the surface. So the moral of the story here is, don't judge leads, follow up with your leads, make phone calls, engage with these prospects and have conversations, and you might be surprised at what you find. So hope you found this useful. Have a great day.